we've elected Tyler to be our little guinea pig here. And I just want to demonstrate the idea that there are stories buried in the pages of everyone's life. And so we've asked Tyler to dig up an artifact of his own. And I think we're going to have you read it. And then we're going to talk and see what narratives lurk beneath.
All right. Well, I'm from a small town in Montana, Deer Lodge, Montana. And when I was a kid, the only children's programming to be had, the only game in town really was out of Salt Lake City. We got a show called Hotel Balderdash, which was a children's show, a cartoon show hosted by real life people. I think they were hobos, or I don't know what they were. They were vaudevillians or something. But was a fan of the show, and my sister decided that I would write them a letter. And this is the letter. I think it's kind of cute. The envelope has the address written where the stamp should be. It's erased. And the return address put where it should be. And it's addressed to Harvey Humdinger, which was the host. There's no address there, which makes sense because it never got to him. I still have it. But this is the letter. Hi, Harvey. Would you please send me a Harvey Humdinger game? I would like it very much. It would be nice if you could get it to my house before Saturday. My house is at 204 5th Street. My name is Tyler, and I'm in kindergarten. It would be good if you said my name on your show, but don't say it too early because I don't get up too early in the morning. Say it about 8 o'clock. I'm 5, and my stepsister Denise is writing this letter, and I tell her what to write. I wrote the 5 a few lines above. I wish you would have the show on till 5. Now, I will stop because Denise is getting tired of writing. So long. See you in your shows. Say hi to me when you see me. From Tyler. P.S. I wrote my name too.
You know, one of the things I really like about, he read this to me the other day on the phone, and I was like, that's amazing, is that it seems like fan mail, where you praise somebody else, but it's complete narcissism.
It's all about me. Yeah.
It's all about Tyler. Is that,
say my name.
So, Courtney, you work with him a lot. Would you say that is a trait, no holds barred, that haunts Sir Tyler?
Oddly, no. Well, I think that what he does for a living appears narcissistic in that he's asking for all of this attention from people, but he is one of the quietest, most shy people sort of walking around that I know. Can I say that about you? I just did.
Yeah. It's too late now. It's out there.
And so the reason that I asked that, and I asked that to him on the phone the other day, and I said, at the risk of having never met you before, are you a narcissist? And he said, well, I went through that phase. I was looking for some kind of, what is some sort of theme in there where if we found other pieces that he wrote, poems, letters, that kind of thing, that we could use some sort of narrative glue and sort of piece a bunch of separate artifacts together. And you told me something interesting, which is why you wound up writing that letter. Can you tell the audience?
Well, yeah, it's funny. I mean, all these years I've had this letter somewhere in some file or something, and I've always thought, well, this is my letter, that I wrote, and et cetera, et cetera. And really, in looking at it, it's not my letter. Denise, it was my sister's idea. I have no memory of it, but I may have dictated some of it to her, but I think it was mostly Denise. I think I was kind of along for the ride.
And she just forced you to kind of like, you're going to write this letter to Harvey Humdinger now.
Yeah, man, I think it was pretty much that. I mean, when I came into Denise's life, I think I was sort of a toy or a pet or like a doll. And she would do things with me. And this is just one of those things that she did with me.
Which is bad for you, but great for us.
Yeah.
Because what that opens up to me is the idea is, is that sort of a pattern that was always there in your life with her? Was she always that controlling?
Yeah, definitely. My childhood, definitely. She, for instance, she got a summer job babysitting a few kids at our house, and I was told that I was the assistant babysitter. Unpaid. I didn't make any money, but I know when...
I didn't even know babysitters had assistants.
Yeah, I was the first. I was a pioneer. And when we got cable was a big deal at our house, and my parents were, gone all day working. And so it was, at that time, I remember pretty clearly wanting to watch Aerobicize on Showtime. I don't know if everybody remembers that, but it was sort of the softcore porn type thing. It was under the guise of a fitness workout thing, and I really wanted to watch that when my parents weren't there. But she decided that we would watch General Hospital every day at, I think, 1 o'clock. And I was assigned to watch that and become an expert in that. And another thing she did, I'm glad I have the opportunity to say this on the radio, is when she was in like 5th or 6th grade, she was, I don't know what grade she was in, but she was learning her multiplication tables. And I don't know if she was having a hard time or what, but when she came home, she decided she would drill me on the multiplication tables. And I was like 4 or 5. And so I'm not good at math now. And I was horrible back then. And so I would cry hysterically, and she'd slap this cold, wet towel on my face to make me stop crying so I could focus enough to resume the drill of learning multiplication tables. So
Sounds like torture. It sounds like torture.
a little bit, yeah.
And the weirdest thing that you wound up sharing with me on the phone was this notion of your dynamic of control, is that she changed her name years later in life to
Yarrow. Yeah, changed it to Yarrow.
And where does Yarrow live? In a
Yurt.
Yeah. Of course. Where else?
Yeah.
Where else would Yarrow live?
And she sort of retroactively changed her name, too. It was like, she would change her name going back into the past. So if we told stories, it was not like, when we went camping, Denise Blotty Blah, it's Yarrow.
Right.
All
Which
right.
is the ultimate control. And you had like whatever family nickname for her, and you could no longer...
Yeah, I couldn't
use that.
refer, yeah.
So now, did that relationship have a negative impact over the years?
Yeah, I mean, I always was sort of competitive with her and always, felt controlled by her, and always just sort of felt like it was in her orbit, and we actually lived together as adults for a short time, and, kind of when I hit my limit, I had just, every time I was around her, wasn't, anything she was doing, wasn't her being bad or anything, I just would sort of fall into her orbit, and everybody did. She's a great, wonderful person, free spirit, very independent, awesome individual, and so it's very attractive. So everybody orbited her, but it got old for me.
And today your relationship is not as close.
Yeah,
Which is really sad.
it is.
However, has there been a positive, any kind of a legacy that she's given you that specific dynamic has actually added to her life?
I think so, and it in a way took looking at this letter, and I really didn't see it going down this path, but. Looking at this letter and seeing the fact that, she was the catalyst for this kind of thing. I look at her life and the choices that she made and, living in a yurt, and she got into massage and yoga, and she teaches African dance now. And so for kids coming out of Deer Lodge, Montana, that's unheard of. So, I look at that and think, maybe, I don't know if I would have been the person I am today without her, a performer, but I might not have been, The choices that she made paving the way, sort of
that fierce
testing the
independence
waters.
allowed you to be
Yeah.
in shows. So that's a really good example of how seemingly insignificant things, a cute little letter to Harvey Humdinger, I think can reveal a whole window into who we are. So, I guess you go.
Yeah.
Great. Thanks, Dave. Thank you.
I hope your sister doesn't listen to the show.